Isagi is a striker that Noel Noah has been waiting for this entire time. As we know, at first, Noah was clearly manipulating Isagi to end up pushing Kaiser to evolve to the point where he would end up being able to rival him, thus giving him more competition, pushing him to go even further due to his Kaiser impact. However, with the ending of the match between PSG and Bayern Munich, we can clearly see who devoured who, and the one who came up on top was Isagi as the best striker of that team. And with Kaiser, who has already gotten an offer from Real Madrid, it is already quite likely that Kaiser will end up leaving Bayern Munich. That was his main intention in joining the neo-egoist league. He wanted to perform there so he could get an offer from a different club and leave Noel's Bayern Munich due to the fact that he felt like he was in Noel's shadow and cannot be number one, almost like a Messi and Neymar type situation. So it is quite likely that Kaiser ends up leaving Bayern Munich. This leaves Isagi to join Noel Noah's Bayern Munich, where they will team up. And I believe that their chemical reaction will be one of the best that we have seen in Bluelock so far. Because personally watching Isagi play, I can't help but notice the similarities between his playing style and that of Griezmann. Griezmann is a ball-winning striker. He is on the smaller side, not the fastest, but he really relies on his IQ play and tactical understanding. He plays for Atletico Madrid, and obviously Atletico Madrid and the style we see from Bayern Munich in Bluelock is not really the same, but when it comes to the type of plays that Griezmann and Isagi end up performing, I would say that it is quite similar. They are strikers who make other players around them perform better due to their creativity, due to the fact that they can easily become the foundation of a team, causing everybody to click. Unlike Ren that we see in the series, he is somebody who performs by himself. He doesn't make the team necessarily better. He scores goals. Individually, he is perfect. However, him being included in the team doesn't necessarily mean that everybody around him is going to play better. He is going to shine while others are not necessarily going to shine too. But with Isagi, not only will he shine, but he makes other players around him shine too. And this is something that we also see with the likes of Griezmann. And simply due to the fact that in Bluelock, we see strikers all the time, although they're supposed to be forward, they come back and win balls in the middle of the field. And we see that a lot with Isagi, who uses his meta vision. But we also see this a lot with the likes of Griezmann. Griezmann, if you watched him play at Atletico Madrid, you would see that Griezmann wins the ball a lot, leading to counters and chances for his team. But the main aspect and the reason why I'm bringing up the way that Griezmann plays is because, in my opinion, when Griezmann is at his peak is when he plays alongside a secondary striker, somebody who is bigger than him and plays almost as the target man. We see this in France with Giroud, and we see this with Diego Costa, where both of them serve as the target man who takes up the ball and is the focal point of the attack, who ends up receiving the ball and holding the plate. Griezmann would then operate in the pockets of space that are generated by the attention that the target man ends up taking up. This is something that I believe we can see Isagi, and this is where I believe Isagi would benefit the team the most as a secondary striker alongside Noel Noah, who will serve as the target man. Isagi, due to his physical stats not being the most impressive, he will use his weapon, which is meta vision, to find these pockets of space where he can operate, where Noel Noah will be the target man who can take up the ball and take players' attention. Noel Noah's trapping abilities are very impressive. We've already seen Isagi glaze it over and over again, but also his strength and the way that he can hold the ball is also out of this world. Him being ambidextrous, meaning that he can use both feet, is also super important, and what causes a lot of people to draw their attention immediately to Noel Noah and try and stop him using multiple players, alongside the fact that he is the best striker in the world, the best player in the world, winning the Ballon d'Or over Messi and Ronaldo. In the Bluelock series, it is quite clear that he will draw the attention of multiple players. This will allow Isagi to really operate in these pockets of space, leading to him scoring goals and finding the most logical plays that leads him to either assisting or scoring more goals himself. And since they're playing in this Bayern Munich-like philosophy, where they are playing for the most logical path, and we've seen the evolution that Isagi has had in this PSG game and games that have happened in the Neo-Egoist League, obviously he still has this ego of wanting to be the best. However, he can sell his soul as described in the PSG game, which will ultimately lead to him scoring or either finding the most logical path towards a goal. He not only incorporates his own ego, but the ego of other players to push and lead to more goals being scored, to create the most optimal play where everybody feels like the main character, leading to a goal. This is how Isagi has learned to play in the Neo-Egoist League, and what will be the theory for him to devour Noel Noah, and their partnership and chemical reaction is going to be one of the best that we have seen in Bluelock so far. Now, somebody that we also have to consider in the mix is Ness, as we know that Kaiser has an offer from Real Madrid and it was his goal to leave Bayern Munich, so he will most likely leave. However, in the league so far, we only saw Ness get an offer from Bayern Munich, and that was way back when he got a 50 million bid from Bayern Munich, which means that it is still quite likely that he will stay and not join Kaiser if he goes to Real Madrid. Which means that Isagi and Noel Noah will have this genius passer who will be giving them the passes. What is already quite interesting is that we have already seen Ness and Isagi's chemical reaction, where instead of Kaiser being the one to trust Ness and believe that he could evolve and push even further, believing in his protagonist feeling, the person to do so was Isagi. This may very well foreshadow a potential partnership between the genius passer, who is Ness, and the talented learner, who is Isagi Yuichi. Both of them working in Bayern Munich alongside Noel Noah as a trio would be quite interesting, as we also have to see something that was quite common in the Bayern Munich team in the Neo-Egoist League. We had two factions in the beginning. At the end, Kaiser and Isagi ended up joining up and dissolving their ego, selling their soul for the victory, but at first there were two clear factions, one of Kaiser and Ness, and the other of Isagi and Hiyori. I don't know exactly what team Hiyori will end up in, and maybe we'll find out when the ranking is fully released, but based off the information that we currently have, it doesn't seem like Hiyori is going to be going to Bayern Munich. But one thing that we did see during their partnership is that Isagi, for his theory to be complete, does rely on a passer. And when I say rely, people might say that, oh, it means that Isagi is incomplete, but at the end of the day, this is 11 versus 11. So Isagi does need a passer of quality, a genius passer in this case, while he will be the talented learner who is able to tame that genius passer in the likes of Ness. Ness in this instance will serve the same role that Hiyori did end up serving for Isagi during the Neo-Egoist League. And adding these three people, this will make Bayern Munich an even greater threat. And when this eventual Champions League run ends up happening, we will end up seeing Bayern Munich and Real Madrid face each other, as this is one of the most common games that we see in the Champions League, and I believe that we will also see it in the Bluelock manga, which means that eventually we will see Isagi's partnership between Ness and Noel Noah face the one of Sei and Rin at Real Madrid, and we know that they possess another great player in their ranking. So to find out more on that partnership, make sure to watch this video right here discussing Sei and Rin's partnership and how it will be one of the best in the world.